So I'm going to tell you the story about me moving to a two-bedroom, two-bath condo here in Florida about 13 years ago. So after I moved from the one-bedroom, one-bath, that association that were hassling me about a small bicycle that I was using as a transportation just to go to the nearby store. So so then I sold that one and contingent to move to this two-bedroom, two-bath. So I moved to this association, and they were more flexible. They had actually allowing motorbikes, motorcycles, trucks, bicycles. Everything was allowed. So I'm thinking, oh, now I'm in paradise. This is great. So what happens, I moved in there, then I started renting the other bedroom because I didn't have a use for it and I could use the extra income. So the management didn't say anything, and it was allowed. So I had different roommates. I only wanted temporary roommates because I didn't want a long-term roommate, because it's so hard to evict them, or I have to go through eviction process. So I was renting for people who come down from up north in the winter time. So I used to have somebody for 2 months, 3 months. They come down to get away from the snow, the snowbirds. Or sometimes I used to get people who working at the power plant. They had contractors. So probably they had I remember like a month and a half, 2 months. Then I started doing Airbnb for a while, and Airbnb was at the time was good because they used to allow us to have cameras indoors. So it was kind of safe, but then it was different people constantly, like a turnover, and it was more work because I had to, you have to wash the towels and change the sheets every time somebody new comes. So I was managing that, and but it wasn't full time the whole year, especially in the summer seasonal. It was slow. But then I had some people come in the summer, but it was for a short term. People come in for 2 weeks, things like that. So I did live there for about the first 2 years, and 3 years was fine. And later, slowly things started going downhill because what happens, I had a neighbor upstairs. She was a snowbird from New York, and she was an elderly lady, but she wasn't living there. She was coming twice a year just to check on a place. And then there was this hurricane in 2017, and then I went to stay at a friend's house because I don't know, but I was scared because they said this is gonna turn to a category 5, and like the news, how they make it into a horror story. But yeah, it was really the one on 2017 October. I think it was Hurricane Matthew or something. So I stayed with a friend, and then I came home. I saw like water coming down in the bedroom. My bedroom was water. So then I complained to the lady upstairs. Then they told me, no, there is no water. You know how it is. It's not them. It came from a window. And as usual, the property manager at that time said, oh no, the water doesn't come down from upstairs. It came probably from your window or something. How is it doesn't come from upstairs? You mean the water came from downstairs to upstairs? They started like being like a little kooky and weird. So I tell you the stories about those associations. I mean, that was my dream, to have my own place, like my own apartment. So, but dealing with this managers and association and the board people was a total nightmare. So, and then as time went by, so this lady, she ended up selling the place because she wasn't there, and I think because of insurance issues, I don't know if she had insurance, so they started thinking, I'm gonna sue them. I just told them, fix, the ceiling got like a patch and things. And here in Florida, there's popcorn ceiling. By the way, I'm at the botanical gardens today. If you noticed, I can put a little clip just to show you. It's a nice park, botanical garden here in my area. So I thought that I make some videos here. But anyhow, so this lady, she sold the place and then moved out. Next thing you know, this investor bought the place. You know how investors are. So this investor doesn't care who he moves in there as long as he's getting his rent. So he had a bunch of people moving in, moving out. In the end, there was this family, they were always home, and then COVID hit. And it was like around COVID, so they were always home. And they had children, and then the teenagers used to bring more people. But the thing is, it wasn't allowed for the condo people to live there more than four in a two-bedroom. So they broke the rules and more rules. So, and then they used to stay up late at night till 1 o'clock in the morning, blasting music. And I'm downstairs like an army band is walking back and forth, like laughing and jumping. It was is marching band of an army above my head all hours. It was insane. It was like my dream turned into this horrific nightmare. And the more I complain, the more they tell me, oh, you're a complainer, put some earplugs. This is how it is when you share, the wall with other people. This is how it is living in a condo. I mean, the worst. So anytime I used to complain, and then this lady manager, she used to get annoyed. She used to say, there are 200 apartments in this condo, and you're the only one that calls me and complains. Supposedly, I'm the only one that calls her and complains in this 200 apartments. And then I used to complain some more, and they used to tell me, call the police. Then I call the police, then they tell me, it was 9 o'clock at night, they tell me quiet hours after 10 p.m. So now I gotta wait till it's after 10 p.m. So yeah, that's what they used to ignore me like it's something I have to live with. Forget about it. I was like cranky, tired, and everything. So, and once after COVID, things changed. The market started going up. I started thinking, that's it. I'm the first one to go. I'm moving out of this misery. I'm gonna go to the next place. And yeah, and they used to annoy. I had a roommate. I had a good roommate at that time. One roommate had a truck. They put a sign on my door, and this roommate was thinking, what's the sign? They said, oh, you can't have a commercial truck in here. It wasn't me. He didn't have a commercial truck. It was a contractor, and he wasn't home. That's why he was never home. He used to leave the house 7 in the morning, come back 8 o'clock at night, and was a temporary situation. So they used to annoy me and bombarding me with letters and things like that. So yeah, so that was I can tell you stories. That wasn't the end. That was like one episode how it went. So I don't want to make my videos too long about this one thing, but if you want to ask me questions how bad those associations are, the boards, and then I can tell you on my next video about the boards. They were fighting with each other. They didn't get along, and that's how they got a property management company later on. So yeah, it was a chaos. So anyhow, this is what I wanted to share this with you for today. And if you want to leave me a comment, you have any questions, let me know. And this is what I have for you today. Please put a like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.